Hi everybody, Judy here. Today we're talking about kidney beans and how to select and store your kidney beans. Now we've got dried kidney beans or canned kidney beans to choose from. Rarely will you ever find fresh ones, maybe if you're at a farmer's market or you grow them yourself. But it's usually going to be dried or canned that we're talking about. Most grocery stores will have dried beans of assorted types. Kidney beans come in a light red, dark red, and even white variety. The white kidney beans are usually labeled as cannellini beans. No problem there. Whatever type you choose, the principles are going to be the same. You want to look for bags that have few broken or chipped beans in there, or especially any ones that look off-colored. And you want to just make sure that there's no extra debris in the bag if you can spot it. Sometimes there might be stones in there, which is going to happen, so you have to kind of inspect them carefully especially when you go to use them. If you're going to use them right away, no issue. If you're going to store them for any length of time, you want to try to remember to look for the best buy date and find the one that's furthest out possible. They can be stored beyond that best buy date, but the older they get, the drier, the harder they are, and the longer they will take to cook when you finally do opt to cook them. So you want fresher if possible. When you're shopping for canned kidney beans, again, they're an important staple to have on hand. You never know when your power might go out or when you're in a hurry for something and you have time to open a can of something. You don't have time to do a lot of cooking. So they're important to have on hand. When you're buying canned kidney beans or any canned foods for that matter, you want to look at the best buy date and choose the one that's the farthest out that you possibly can find. If you see that the best buy date is coming close, if you intend to use them right away, that's not a problem. If you want to store them and just have them as a staple on hand in case, whenever, you want to try to find the date that's farthest out so that they'll last for you. You can eat them beyond the best buy date, but the flavor is going to diminish after a certain period of time, and so they might not taste the best if you eat them 6 months or a year beyond that date. It doesn't mean they're expired and you have to throw them out. They are still edible. They just might not taste quite as good as you want them to. Also, canned beans of different types will come in conventionally salted varieties, low salt or no salt added varieties. You need to pick out whichever one is right for you. I'm not going to tell you which one to get. It's up to you completely on which one you get. But if it's sodium and salt is something that you monitor closely for whatever reason, then you do want to be aware of that and make sure that you choose the option that's right for you. When you get your kidney beans home, regarding the dried beans, you want to store them in a cool, dry, dark area away from insects. If rodents might be a problem, or you have a pet that might be inclined to get into them, or insects in wherever area that they might be stored in, you might want to take them out of the plastic bag that they came in and put them in either Mylar bags or mason jars, preferably with an oxygen absorber in there, and seal them up, and they'll keep well for you that way. They're usually shelf stable for years and will last you for a long time. It's a good idea to label them with what they are and the best buy date that was on the bag, and put that on the container as well, and it will help to guide you as far as which ones to eat first. Regarding canned kidney beans or canned beans of any type, they should also be stored in a cool, dry, dark place away from a heat source, and your cupboard or your pantry ought to be okay. When you're reaching for a can of beans, you want to try to rotate them around according to the best buy date. In other words, when you buy them and you bring them home, you want to inspect the best buy dates of the ones you bought versus the cans that you already have in your pantry. And if you tend to reach for the frontmost can, the easiest one to reach for you, Try to put the one up front with the earliest Best Buy date on it, the one that's going to come around first, and then take the newer ones, put them toward the back of the shelf, and that way you won't be inclined to reach for those first. You'll reach for the oldest can first and rotate them according to date that way. Once you've opened a can of kidney beans and you can't use them all, please do not store the extra beans in the original can in the refrigerator. Yes, they need to be in the fridge, but please don't store them in the can. They could pick up a metallic flavor that way, and that would not make them very good. So you want to transfer them out of there and put them into a refrigerator type container. It could be a jar, it could be a plastic container of any brand, it doesn't matter. Put them in the refrigerator as long as it's got a nice lid on there, and then you want to use them up as quickly as you can. If you can't use them within a few days, it's a good idea to just rinse them, drain them really well, and then put them in a freezer container and store them in your freezer. And then if you use them up within 6 months, you're good to go. They'll be fine for you. Well, I do hope this helps you out. Take care now. Bye.